So you've asked for it. We're going to talk about the 2-meter ban. Guess what? 2 meters is safe. Long live 2 meters. So here's the straight dope on what is going on. I'll say up front, 2 meters is safe. It has been removed as an agenda item from the upcoming WRC 2019, which will be held in October. What is the road that got us here? Well, let me explain, because I held back for so long. You see, a couple of months ago, a group in France said, hey, wouldn't it be great if we could use some of the very high frequency and higher frequency bands for non-emergency aeronautic traffic? Think of like automated transponder type stuff. And one of the bands that got identified as being possibly interesting to propose a study for. And again, a study is a 4-year study, meaning even if they approved it, it would have taken 4 years before they would have made a decision. 2 meters was one of those bands that they looked at for study. And when that happened, when word came out that France was looking at 2 meters as being one of the bands for a study, there were multiple organized amateur radio groups that got together and said, nay, you should not use it. And they said that to this group, and that group said, oh no, you're actually right. But hey, it's kind of late in the game, and it went forward. Now, the reality of this is that how we coordinate band access and band spaces is done by committee, and it's done at an international level because RF is a finite resource, right? If you think about it, you get only so much and then it becomes light, right? So doing a coordinated effort like this is important, and we should support it. Sometimes committees make mistakes in the case of this 2-meter potential study. Not even a real study, potential study. So this got proposed to add to the agenda. The agenda was ratified yesterday. And during the ratification, they said, nay, it should not be involved. And they were right. It should not have been involved. And it was removed. With that also, 50 megahertz is now considered amateur radio as a primary operator internationally, which is great news. So everybody who jumped out there immediately out of the chute and started saying 2 meters is in trouble, we need help, etc. It was fine. It was always fine. And the committee and the groups of people, the organized amateur radio groups like the Radio Society of Britain, among others, got together and they created a unified front, a unified statement for how they were going to handle it. And they did. So, if anything, we can say, hey, please continue to support your groups like the ARRL, like the Radio Society of Great Britain, and others in the country that you live in. Please find them and support them, because those were the people that allowed this to happen. When they said, guys, don't make a video about this, or don't post a bunch of stuff about it, because it's complicated. It's not like the FCC when they were going after the Baofangs and they just posted a document and we could read it and it was in plain text. No, it's more complicated than that. There's groups of committees and what goes on agendas and ratification of agendas, etc. So there was a reason why they said, hey guys, let's hold on a little bit. At the end of the day, it all worked out and 2 meters is fine. So no one has to worry. I appreciate everybody who reached out to me and said, hey, I'm concerned about this. Are you concerned about this? I was to a degree, but I knew that there was a lot of steps before it would actually affect us. And it got stopped at the second step, basically. So good news for amateur radio. Good news for organized communities of amateur radio, passionate people. Thank you for doing what you do. You are the heroes of this story. So thank you so much for doing that. I am Josh KI6NEZ. If you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. I live stream every Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I'll talk to you then. See ya.